Okay, what's up YouTube? Today I'm going to give you guys just like a little insight of how I do my doors on my storage boxes. I've done them tons of different ways. Well, really actually, scratch that. I haven't done them tons of different ways. I feel like there's this debate when you're building beds on how you should do your doors. Should they extrude or should they recess? Personally, for me, I like extruded doors. Now, I didn't get as far as I was planning on getting before making this video because I just ran out of welding wire. Should clean the shop up a little bit because it's a little ridiculous in here. So let me back up and give you guys kind of a visual. So we're doing a skirted bed, 4 boxes on each, one on each corner, and a ladder rack. This is for, I believe he owns a garage door company, if I remember right. I feel like I'm getting him confused because I have another guy who owns a pool maintenance company. But I feel like this is the garage door company. I'd have to look on the invoice. So it's the right bed. I just can't remember exactly what it is he does. So the full skirt is 24 inches. My half skirts are only like, I think they're only 12 inches. You get 2 brake lights, 1 reverse light, 3 running lights, your new trailer plug. Those holes, there's 1 on each side, is your license plate lights, and your license plate goes in the middle. Same thing, 3 lights over there. Up top here, you get 1 brake light, 1 reverse light. Same over here, 1 reverse, 1 brake. I think right here, they're actually gonna put in like more boxes. I'm not really sure why he didn't have me build the boxes. He might already have them. I can't remember. He had a couple other trucks, and then of course the ladder rack is going to stretch up over the cab. It's a single cab F250. Really kind of a cool thing about this truck, it only has like 27,000 original miles on it, and it's like brand new inside, to the point where like I don't even want to get in it because I just feel like I'm just going to get it dirty. So anyways, and then of course I put yellow marking running lights up here and red ones back here behind this stake pocket. Now, hopefully you guys can hear me good because it's actually storming really, really good out here. So let's talk about doors. A lot of guys I'm noticing who are building beds, they do recessed doors. So what I mean, for anyone who doesn't know what I mean by recessed, is this lip would not be here, and the door itself would sit inside and it'd be flush with the skirting, okay? And what a lot of guys do, especially if they have like brakes and stuff, is they'll weld the box on flush, and then they'll actually weld angle iron in here to make the seat for the door, okay? It's one way to do it. There's a couple reasons I don't like it. On single cab, or not, excuse me, not single cabs. On single rear wheel vehicles, you cannot go that deep with your boxes, okay? I think it's 12. I don't have a tape measure within reach to check. The reason I like to do these boxes where it extrudes is it's extruding 3/4 of an inch. So you do get a little more depth. I know some of you thinking 3/4 of an inch is not that great. It's really nothing to write home about, but you get a little more depth. And if we were to do it recess, it would actually be an 1.5 inch flip, because we'd probably have 1.5 inch angle recessing in there. And then we put seals on it and we make it sit flush in there. So I like this for a few reasons. One, it's a lot less welding, so it's a lot less chance of warpage. That's good for me. And two, you get a little more depth out of your boxes. 3, overall, I just think the look is cleaner. So, if you guys are building beds, I cannot stress enough how important brakes are, okay? I know we can weld this, then we can come back through and buff it and polish it and make it look all nice and pretty. Or I can put it on the brake, a finger brake, and bend it. I use 1/8 plate. I know some guys really like to go 3/16. I don't get why. 1/8 plate, a couple good coats of paint, it's gonna be plenty. But, so, and then I take weather stripping. Let me see if I can find, I got a piece of it right here. So this is the weather stripping I use. I think it's called like top bubble weather stripping. The other reason I like to use 1/8 plate is this here, it said it's meant to go, I believe they say it's only meant to go over 0.8 and 11 gauge is 0.12, but it does fit on there pretty snug. If it was 3/16, I don't think it would fit on there. So we put our weather stripping all the way around it. We weld our hinges on the bottom. In here, we'll weld a little tab for our latch. And I'm just gonna let it sit there. It's not exactly where it's gonna go, but just to give you guys a point of reference. And then we have extruded boxes. Now, again, some people don't like extruded boxes. They want them to recess. To me, I don't think it looks bad because I already have the bumper rails and the stake pockets extruding off the bed. And I think this is a cleaner look. As you can see, we're pretty darn tight. Just being able to bend it to this panel. Obviously, I got to weld out the corners, but we're pretty darn tight. And that's just throwing this panel on the brake, this door on the brake, okay? So how I measure it, these are 1.2 depth, and I actually think it comes out to, when it's bent, like almost an inch. 3/4 inch lip, and this, you can see, squeezes down to about, I don't know, squeezes down to probably about 1/8 or so. So we get a really good seal. Now, I have two on beds put a little lip here. That's got, it's pretty much like a, oh, come on. Like a drain, a gutter. All I could think was garden hose. But any runoff, it would come in, catch on that, shoot it out the back. And it just keeps a lot of going down the road water out of here. I don't think I'm actually going to do them anymore because I don't really have a problem with these leaking. Like I said, the backs are all pretty much welded out and all that. Now, some of you guys who are watching this are thinking, hey, dummy, you're telling us how great the brake is to do the doors. Why didn't you break the back panels of the boxes themselves, so you just have to weld on the sides? Reason being, it's more material, because then I would have to cut all of this out, so this would all have to be one. The reason these backs are actually 7 gauge, because these sides are 7 gauge, so the kerf width on the plasma cutter makes it just nice enough to where I can use the cutout for the back panel, and it just saves me. Like, instead of this being a 1.5 sheet job for 11 gauge, it'd probably be a 2-sheet job, but it's at the point where I'm doing enough of them to, you know, I can keep that material on hand, and it's worthwhile. So yeah, so a lot of guys really, really like the recessed doors. I've done the recessed doors, and I have never had as good a success with this. I like doing these doors. Like on the recessed doors, I've seen it where like the gasket, the seal can get caught in between, and that looks bad. And You get a little bit more with this. As you can probably tell, it will open down and it will have hooks on it. You can get a little bit more with this. It looks good. We'll have all four. I mean, let me just kind of give you guys a mock-up of what it looks like. Okay. Okay, what is that? Is that... I was gonna keep welding, but I was 10 pounds off on my wire count. I thought I had 10 pounds in the machine. Well, 10 pounds that I put in there Monday, and today's Saturday, so makes sense. I ran through that because I did a smoker earlier this week too. Gosh, man, times just blend in. But yeah. Anyways, I thought I had another 10 pounds on the shelf, but I didn't, so I'm gonna have to go Tractor Supply and buy some tomorrow probably, and then order probably another. I'll probably order 30 pounds or 40 pounds offline. But as you can see, it doesn't look terrible. They extrude, you get a little more space in there, especially on these single rear wheels. That I think that's necessary evil. And then these, you know, it's gonna extrude anyways and really kind of help hide it. I noticed on the longer doors I do have, it did kind of come out and do this almost, it looks like. Yeah. So I can straighten it out. I just have to kind of put it in a press and press it down, and we can weld on the inside to make it work. But honestly, even that, like, we're not going to have much of an issue with that sealing because it's going to compress the gasket. And then this is the first one in a good long while I've had to do it with a ladder rack. Generally, so what I do for all of my head ache racks is it's 2 inch by 3 square tubing that I do the actual headache rack with. And generally, it's all coming back to me now. Generally, I would use the 2x3 tubing up there and up here, and then just go with like 2x2 tubing or 1.5 tubing for up top. But I remember the reason we didn't was because the distance between these two, we had to make it a little bigger so his toolboxes would fit, because I believe he already has the toolboxes. Another good thing to know about the reverse lights. The reverse lights I buy, they are LEDs. They are high beam and low beam reverse lights. So just like your red 6-inch oval lights would be high beam, low beam for your brake light, and your running light, brake being the high, running being the low. I make the reverse light the high beam, but then I also wire, it's a purple wire, and I don't wire it to the cab unless they want me to, but I wire that up too, and it's just capped off in the harness. If you wanted to, you could put an auxiliary switch in there, and both of these reverse lights you can flip on, and it's like work lights if he's got to get stuff in and out of the truck or whatnot. Especially being in Michigan, we have days where, like in the wintertime, it gets dark early and the sun doesn't come up for a while in the morning, so kind of need that time. And same thing back here with the one reverse light on either side. You could run them to the same switch. You could run them to separate switches if you wanted to have like top and bottom. We had talked like maybe I would even put some here, but I think we decided against it. Decided we just didn't need to go that far. But yeah, so that's just kind of a look on the bed. All of this gets wire wheeled. I don't like these welds. I don't necessarily grind them down. I don't really like grinding down welds too much, just because, I don't know, then they're just paper thin. Rather leave the weld in there, try to make them look good. But any like sharp spots, BBs on there, that will get wire wheeled down. All this surface rust will get wired wheeled down. As things progress, I'm thinking about getting a sandblaster. I found a really, really good priced company that will do powder coating. Hauled some stuff up there. Figured out the reason they were really, really good price was they don't sandblast anything, which most of the time when I build stuff, it will be out of new metal. This was kind of a weird deal because I had one or two. I had a smoker to build and this bed to build, and I ordered all the steel on the same truck, not thinking that my son's birthday party was coming up, so I was going to be delayed getting ready for that. So some of this sat outside for longer than I normally let it. So it got a little rusty, but we're going to wire wheel it all up, clean it up, wipe it down, paint it. It's going to be good. In the future, we get into a new shop. Hopefully I'll be able to just unload truck and bring everything right in. I'm trying to think how I'm going to lay out the shop, and I think I'll have room to do, like, on one wall, 24 foot of a steel rack with plate at the bottom, and then a bandsaw that we can, probably that orange bandsaw over there that we can, you know, wheel back and forth wherever we need to cut it, and then all of our steel can go inside. Because how it works right now, like, I order it, it comes in, I start cutting it. So I order it per each job. Sometimes I'll double up, triple up, whatever. All my common stuff goes here. 6-inch pipe, 2x3 tube, DOM tube, round rod. All the stuff that I know I'm probably going to use week in, week out, I will buy an extra stick and keep it up there. Random drops, like, we don't really do that many ladder racks. I'd like to get into more of them. We just don't do that many of them currently. But all of this, like, extra 1.5-inch tubing, it's going to go on a rack outside. It's going to get rusty. I sell it discounted, or I use it for, like, personal jobs or anything like that. But yeah, so that is this build so far. It is going to have a double top, so I think it's 4 inches, so it's 7 inches total, and then we're going to have a top bar go up, and then it's going to teeter off and connect at the bottom. But yeah, and then that plate leaning up against the door is the plate for here. Like I said, I was trying to get everything tacked up so I could just crank tunes and weld it all out. God darn, ran out of welding wire. It's crazy. Like, I buy it literally like 50 pounds at a time, but with all these projects, it's just like so fast that I run out. Another thing people have told me I could do on beds, like a lot of the beds, they only do like the 3-inch side, and that's because they actually bend it. So I would save all this weld, which I'd like the idea of saving all this weld. I don't like the 3-inch trim piece or 4-inch or whatever it is. It's because, like, especially up here, everybody's truck's rusty, and when you don't have a full skirt or even a half skirt, you just freaking see everything on how it's mounted, any wires you have hanging loose, any of that stuff. I like these because it's full, tire fills up the wheel well, and it's full. You can't see anything. You can't see how it's connected. You can't do any of that. So that's why I make them. Yeah, it's a little more work. I just think they look better. And I like to turn out products that I like. But hope you guys could hear me good. It is raining pretty good out here tonight. So I'm gonna finish shutting her down and then head in for the night. I guess I get to head in early tonight. That's not terrible in my opinion. So sucks because I wanted to. The goal was I would have it all welded out, doors on, and then take tomorrow, Sunday, off, come out here Monday and do prime it in the morning. It's been super freaking humid, so hope it was ready for paint in the afternoon, evening time. I like to do 1 coat primer, 2 coat paint. The goal was to try to have paint done in a day so that I can come out Tuesday, put the wiring harness on. I make them, but just because I use 6 wire, like, I know a lot of people will buy the, like, trailer 5 wires because it's, you know, generally that's all you need is your 12 volt, your running lights, your ground, your high beam, your left blinker, your right blinker. No, you only need 4. I can't remember. It's too late in the evening for this. I run 6 because I have left blinker, right blinker, brake light. No, that can't be right because you're, hold on, maybe it's 5 wire. So I have white, red, reverse light. That's the one I'm forgetting. I knew it would hit me eventually. So black is my running lights. Yellow is my left blinker. Green is my right blinker. Red is my reverse lights. White is my ground, and purple is my auxiliary wire. So glad we got that worked out. I've been out here. I'm not trying to complain too much because this is like the only, I've worked this week. This is the only full day I did. We were in this heat index. I think we're out of it now. Today wasn't really that bad, but we were in this heat index. And it was like 90s and humid, which is pretty hot. And I was just saying, wah, I didn't want to come out here and just sweat. So instead of working during the day, I just worked at night. And came out here like 7, worked until like midnight or 1. So not even like super long shifts. And literally, we had nothing started on this flatbed this week. This is all working like, and a lot of this too was design. Because I'm still tweaking designs as I go along. But, so yeah. So 7 to 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 5 hours. So we did 5, 10, 15, 20. We did 20 hours on this because I did take a night off because it's nice to see the wife. And then today I had about 10 hours into it. So 30 hours. We're this close. Probably a build like this, 35 to 40 hours. Like I said, I did a lot of design work on this one too because we changed certain things. I'm just trying to get like a good final product. So with all the design too, it's probably 5 hours. If I were to build this exact same one again, I could probably get it done in 32 hours. They take about an hour to install. They take me about 3 hours to make the wiring harness and run it through and secure it down and put all the lights in. And then paint. The actual act of painting really doesn't take that long, but the time of painting, because when you got to wait for it to dry. Another thing I absolutely hate, and that is a total struggle about having a small shop, is if I got paint in here drying, I'm kind of screwed because I can't really do anything else. Sometimes I get lucky, I go do a mobile job. I always actually try to Friday night put the first coat of paint on. Saturday come out, do the second coat of paint. If it's ready Saturday night, do the third coat of paint. If it's not, Sunday morning I'll do the third coat of paint because the actual painting doesn't take that long. It's just the dry. And then Monday I could build the harness, and at the end of the day it would have like 36 hours to dry. It's usually dry enough. Put all the lights and secure the harness. Next day, come out here and install it. So it's just not how it worked out this week with this one. Sometimes that's how it happens, but is what it is. After this, we're gonna crank out another flatbed. That is another thing I love about a big shop. This is a 20-foot deep shop. The next shop I think we're gonna have is 32 feet deep. I could build 2 of these at the same time in the new shop because it's funny, you don't really think of that 8 feet being a big difference maker. It's also 4 feet wider, so I could have them like sit next to each other. Or actually, with it being 4 foot wider, I'd probably build them this way, and they're only like 7 feet, so it'd take up like 14 by like 8 foot of the shop floor, and then we'll still have plenty of other stuff because a lot of stuff isn't going to go into the new shop. The bandsaw is going to go. That's going to go with a couple other ones. The brake's going to go, but I bought these wheels. These are like 5-inch metal casters for that brake, so we could move it around because sometimes we got to do a long cut and it hits the back wall. But the wheels on this cart started breaking, so it's like, all right, well, we're gonna put the wheels on here and order more for that. The US General box is gonna go. plasma table's gonna go, and this table's gonna go. And I'm even debating on this table. We might build 2 smaller ones because most of it's built here. I don't really use the whole table that much, other than laying tools out, but we'll see. Anyways, we'll just be able to do the layout different. And what I want is, like, from the door to the back walls clear, so we'll have 32 feet of clear ground to work on. Whereas, like, honestly, here it's 20 deep, and it's actually like 20. It's weird. So this one's like 20 feet from outside to outside. My new one is 32 feet, but it is inside to inside is the 32 feet. So this one's really basically like just over 19 feet. But like this literally takes 3 feet, and then you have another 3 feet, and then you have the bed. So, and this is a with the headache rack, this is the second biggest bed I've had in here. I have had a 14-foot bed in here that we built, but for a cabin chassis. But anyways, I think that's enough rambling. I'll take my early night off and go catch some shut-eye and figure out how I want to. I might come out and finish the welding tomorrow and wire wheel it and wipe it down so that I can come out and paint Monday. I think that's just how it's going to have to go. And then Tuesday, maybe I'll get the wiring done and get it set on the truck, and then Wednesday I can dial it up. Either way, I don't think they're going to be able to come pick it up till Thursday, which doesn't seem to be a problem for them. Actually, as a matter of fact, now that I say that, this guy's from Detroit, which is like 3 hours from here, but he has family property up here, and his plan was to come hang out on the weekend. And so he was going to come up, get the truck. He's going to trailer it home, but come get the truck, trailer it home, and stay at the property for the weekend. So I guess he probably won't be coming until Friday anyways. But yeah, I can get it set off to the side for him and ready, and then I can just start the next one. Next one, we do a lot of Fords, so last truck was a 2011 Ford F350. This truck is a 2008 Ford F250. The next truck is a 2011 Ford F350 short box. And the one before that was a 2012 Ford F350 short box. And then the last one we're going to do is a Ford 800. I believe it's a 90s Ford 800. And that's going to be an 8-foot bed. So kind of weird that we do so many Fords. A lot of guys around here drive Fords. They do run a long time. I drive a Ford. I like it. And man, yeah, I would say 60% of the beds we build go on Fords. I would say 25 to 30% of the remainder beds go on Chevys, and the last what is that, 10-15% go on Dodges or others. I think we've done like one Toyota, but yeah, so and some of the Chevys I have personally installed them on. I've had to let the guy know, like, hey, we ripped the bed off and you have rust spots in your frame. It's the cross members. They use like 3-inch pipe for their cross members, and they get just packed with dirt and road salt and everything else, moisture, and they just rust out. And you can buy replacement ones. The Fords, though, same thing. It's almost always a rusted out bed. The Dodges, actually, every Dodge we've done, not everyone, a couple of the Dodges we've done have had like CM truck beds on them or things like that, and they just get destroyed, and they want something a little heavier. And like one of the Dodge beds I do 18 inches on center for my cross members. We did 12 inches on center for him because he hauled a lot of heavy stuff on the bed, and that's just what he wanted. So that's what we gave him. But yeah, anyways, done rambling. After this last bit, Neverboard S10 Addictions is sitting at, like, he's creeping up on 2.2. What is it, like, how do they do that? 2.2K, 2,200 subscribers. I think he's at like 2,180, I think. And we are sitting at 2,000, I think we're 2,320. So we have a very slim margin of lead. So guys, make sure you're subscribing if you like the channel. We're trying to push new content, even if it's just kind of recapping and like showing how I fit doors and stuff like that. So it dawned on me, because I used to try to record like whole bed builds and give like a super detailed version of how I do each step, and then I realized, like, I'll build a truck bed every week. So if I do one, it kind of shoots myself in the foot for future videos, because it's like, well, you guys don't want to see me give you the same details every week. So I think we'll probably do it like this. We'll probably just give like a week update, a life update, and then we'll talk about like certain things, you know, like how I like to do my doors on the bed, or how I do my skirting, or maybe we'll do like how I do my stake pockets someday, because generally you can buy these. They're 3/16 plate. These are 1/4 inch plate, so got a little more hoopda there. You know, things like that. And I do want to really break down like some equipment. Like, now that I'm building beds every week, it's like I'm kind of paying attention to more like, how efficient am I with the plasma table? How efficient am I with the brake? I think my worst one right now is the brake. Just because it is like all manual. It's really, really slow. It does a good job though. And like this, I did 2, 4, 6, 8, 16, 32. There's about 34 brakes per build of bed, whereas there's 52 pieces per bed we cut out on the CNC table. And the CNC table is way more efficient because I can walk away from it. The brake, I have to like measure out each bend and everything. So yeah, a new brake probably in the future, but I will say I have like $3,500 tied up into that, and it gets you braking. If I had to do, I mean, literally like 35 parts, I'd probably bend, a busy week on that is I bend 100 parts, right? That's a really busy week. If it was, I needed to bend 100 parts a day, we would have a automated one, but we don't. We're just getting into it. Maybe someday. We have plans. We got some things we've been working on for an online website to sell. I think will be really, really cool, but it's just not there yet. And I don't mind, like when we get the kid here and he's learning, I don't mind teaching him on like a mechanical brake, whereas like one where he's just like pressing the button and he can kind of, like, you really have to pay attention to what you're doing. I've seen guys pop fingertips off on brakes because, you know, all you had to do was hit the back gauge, hold the plate in there and hit the button and it would go quick. Well, that's all he was doing. He was going in, hitting the button, and he had his fingers under where the brake was going to come down, and it literally popped his finger right off, the tip of his finger right off, and blood spewed on the back side of the wall. Like, it was like a balloon popped. And so fast, like, didn't even know it happened until it happened. So I've seen a couple guys do that, or known of a couple guys to do it. I guess I haven't seen each of them. I watched one guy, and I know of another guy who did that. But yeah, so it's mechanical, so you kind of got to like line it up and back. It just slows you down, and you can learn good, safe practice. So, all right, guys. Anyways, like what you're seeing. Give me a like, comment, subscribe for more. We'll see you on the next video. Cheers.